when when we started, we bought it, and actually the seller just spent 25 minutes explaining us how to deal with
Yeah.
this. And when you don't know anything, you don't remember anything.
Well, we call this Been a While, and the
Okay.
reason we call it Been a While is the grain bin is plays into that. So this is an old grain bin that's been repurposed into a gazebo.
Okay.
And we, as you have parked here, we welcome RVers to park and enjoy it, and do whatever they like to do. And so you're welcome to use this as
Thank you.
you're here. But the whole Been a While thing is we've actually had a number of visitors that have come back a few times. So the greeting is been a while, right?
Ah, it's true.
So it's been a while.
How long did you start hosting people?
We
When
have
did
been
you
doing
start
it for
that?
about 3 years through
3 years.
Boondockers. Yeah,
Okay.
about 3 years. And you're probably about number 100, 106, 107. And you're going to be the third recording that we put up. And I only wish I had started it sooner because there are so many fun stories. And
Right.
I know you guys have some stories that you want to share. Now, to those that are listening, we've just met a few minutes ago and have just talked about it. And one of the things I love about Boondockers is how nice people are. You
On
guys-
both sides.
On both sides,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I've never been to a host site. I've only been a host. But out of the 100 or so people that have been here, almost all of them have just been phenomenal, just super nice.
It's true.
It's just great. So I appreciate you guys coming. Now, is this your first Boondocker experience, or have you had others?
It is not. We had some other experience.
Okay.
Actually, that's how we started most of the time.
I should introduce you. This is Eric and Claire.
Yeah.
And so you guys on the video can just imagine they're very nice looking people, very nice people.
Thank
you. we're just not doing video this time. But yeah, go ahead, Eric. Thank you.
So yeah, we
In July.
we started in July last year. No, this year.
No, last
Oh,
year.
last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, last year actually.
Uh-huh.
So we're from Canada. We're from the French part,
Okay.
Quebec. We left Montreal, and we crossed our country before crossing yours. So in July, the idea was to go to the west coast, then go down to the south.
Okay.
But the funny thing in
With
the
only
way we
the
started,
car
yeah,
and the
the-
tent
we-
on the
on
roof.
on the roof.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so
the rooftop tent that you put on top of
exactly.
the vehicle. Yeah.
That's what we started with.
Uh-huh.
The project was to leave Quebec and try to find on the road an Airstream that we would buy.
Oh, okay.
So for this to happen, we had to buy a rooftop tent,
Right.
and sleep in it until we find the right Airstream for us.
Uh-huh.
Luckily for us, it happened like just 2 weeks after we started, so
Uh-huh.
which was
2
great.
weeks,
that's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. But in this 2 weeks lapse of time, we had one tornado alert. We had 4 times. It's true, but
4 tornadoes?
Yeah, 4 tornadoes
After
alerts.
20 minutes.
After we left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
20 minutes after leaving.
Uh-huh.
We had this alert on the phone saying that go look for cover, life-threatening tornado coming.
Oh my
and
goodness.
things
Where
like
was
that.
this?
That
were
was
you?
in
La Chute.
La Chute. It's a
In
town
Quebec.
in Quebec.
Oh, so Canada gets tornadoes.
Yeah,
right?
we
Yeah.
do.
I didn't. I guess it makes sense, but I just hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
More than before, actually.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it started in the past. We used to have something, and there was some committees
Yeah.
trying to find out, should we call this a tornado, or is it just like a huge storm?
Okay.
But since the last 10 years, it's increasing in power.
wow.
And now it's something that we are likely more can be called a tornado than just a storm.
Interesting.
So that's And there is
Huh.
also this is in Quebec next to Ontario, but after that we have the prairies as well, exactly like yours.
Yeah.
And there we experienced some tornadoes as well, which
Okay.
we did actually. We had another alert when we were in the prairies. So
Wow.
that's the funny thing of starting it.
Yeah. Oh
And we
man.
found
So we
our,
found
trailer after 2 weeks.
weeks. So we
That's
found
pretty
our
good.
trailer after 2 weeks. Then we had to come back to Quebec to register it,
Uh-huh.
to be able to have a license plate and everything.
Right.
And then started our, journey.
Okay.
And so
Well, it's nice you didn't find it in Florida and then
Oh.
have to go all the way back to Quebec.
that's exactly what we thought. Because in the beginning, we didn't think it would be like that. We thought, okay, wherever we find it,
Uh-huh.
that's great. And
We'll
we're
make
gonna
it work. Yeah.
But actually, yeah, we were lucky it was just in Ontario and not in Alberta or even in British Columbia. The thing about it is neither Claire, neither me, we were experienced with living in a trailer or having a trailer or towing. Even towing was just like the first time we would ever do that.
Wow.
So, funny things.
On the road, we checked on the YouTube, something
Uh-huh.
like that, how
Yeah.
to unplug.
Plug and unplug each and
Oh,
each.
sure.
And each, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was-
because when we started, we bought it, and actually the seller just spent 25 minutes explaining us how to deal with
Yeah.
this. And when you don't know anything, you don't remember anything.
Right.
So
You're right.
so
It takes 7 times or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So we bought the trailer. We looked at each other, drove the car. 20 minutes later, we parked on a Wal-mart.
No, just after 200
Or
meters.
2 kilometers, something like that. We parked in a Walmart, how do you say that, parking lot, and we stayed there. We looked at each other and we said, "Okay, how are we going to do with that?"
We're gonna stay here.
Yeah, we're going to stay here. So we
Forever.
stayed here.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really such a thing, and after that, one piece, but one bite after one bite, we started to experience it.
Yeah.
So
That's the first time.
you should have seen us at a dub station.
Yeah.
It was the first time in a dub
Oh.
station. We're like, okay, which one is the gray? Which one is the black?
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
and so we called the seller, and he's like,
Because on our trailer, the black tank is gray. I don't know why. And the
gray tank is
Gray
gray
and
as
black.
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
the
like-
color is
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
of
goodness.
course, we started to pull something, but we weren't sure. So we pulled a little bit. Then we thought, okay, it looks weird. So maybe you need to turn it.
Uh-huh.
And like when I turned it, it stayed in my hand.
Oh no.
So I was like, oh no. So I called the seller. We were like 5
the trailer is
kilometers.
broken.
Yeah, I think we were 5 kilometers away from him, and
Oh, and we met a couple.
yeah. So later, in maybe in where was that? In Alberta or Saskatchewan? I don't know. In a prairie, anyway. Someone saw us. No, we noticed someone was very efficient in
And clean.
dumping and
Oh,
stuff
sure.
like
Yeah.
that. So
Very
you start
organized.
very organized. And Claire told me, oh, go ask him how he's doing this.
Quick.
So I'm like, okay. So I go and see the guy, and I say, you're pretty well organized. We're not at all. He said, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to spend some time with you.
Nice.
So, answering to what you said in the beginning,
Yeah.
by meeting incredible people,
yes.
not only in hosts site and everything, but you see lots of people on the road willing to help you.
Yes.
And when you're a beginner like we were, it's been tremendously helpful to meet those kind people
Yes.
that took some time explaining us things. So this guy, he had an Airstream as well. So he said,
Oh,
"Oh, I
good.
love Airstream. So I can tell you everything you need to know."
It's
So
perfect for us.
So he
That's
told us, he
great.
explained us everything. He was like grabbing some oil spray, and he was like, "Okay, this you need to to oil this part and this part," and he was like everywhere, and he was suddenly finding some reflexes that maybe he had before, and trying to fix things, and he was like, "Oh, this is a little bit loose. Hold on." And he went to his car, coming back with a tool, fixing few
Yeah,
things.
Oh, wow.
So that-
That's
that-
amazing.
That was really
At the
great.
beginning, we met a lot of people who helped
Us.
us.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, when could we?
Do the same later.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
We were thinking, okay, there is a moment where we're going to be, comfortable enough and
Sure.
have knowledge enough so that we can do the same and replicate those things.
Because
So
all the time people help us.
yeah, I think it's, I don't know, maybe on my cap there's a kind of newbie thing. I don't know, but I think that was very visible. Now I would say almost 11 months later. 11? No, 9 months later. Yeah, I think we went through so many things
Oh, yeah.
that
You're experts now, huh?
expert, I don't know, but seeing us or seeing me driving,
And you can park.
backwards.
Oh, you can
Now I
back it
can
now.
park.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I can
great.
turn.
Yeah.
I was
After 2 months. Les deux premiers mois.
yeah, the first 2 months were a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was like we were parking somewhere, and then I was like, okay, how am I going to pull over? How all those things. And I could be trying to pull back and everything, and suddenly someone would come and say, "Oh, you know what? Do this, do that, or give me the wheel. I'm going to help you."
Nice.
So
And we bought some walkie-talkie.
yeah,
Yeah, walkie-talkies are very
it's-
important.
it's really great.
So helpful. It's
Yes.
it's to
We don't fight anymore.
avoid.
You don't fight anymore, do you?
Yeah, it's true. It helps.
Yeah, no, we saw some examples of people.
Walkie-talkie is the solution.
Yeah, it really
Yeah, no,
does
it's
help.
true, it's
It
true.
really
It
does,
helps.
yeah. Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's
So do you use them when you're just driving, so you don't fight? You know, you'll be right next to him in the seat, but you'll use the walkie so you don't fight.
no,
you
we don't do that. But we do that for everything else. In a
Yeah.
shop, you go to Wal-mart and you're like, okay, where are you now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you're back by the RV supplies, right? Oh, that's great. So you started full time, right?
Yeah, full time. Yeah.
In July.
Yeah.
And you had not previously done any camping per se like this anyway.
No.
And what got into you? What was the inspiration to do this?
So it was long time ago. We were thinking that you know how you live where you've been growing up.
Sure. Yeah.
So you never go kind of further, or sometimes even if we did for other reasons. But and we were thinking, okay, are we going to buy a house next to Montreal or something, or are we going to expand our research? And I remember Claire one day say, you know what, if we stay here, we're going to buy a house here, but we should maybe experience something else. So
Sure.
we were like, okay, we're going to buy a trailer and go all around the country, and even the southern, even the States, and see how we deal with that. And
Yeah.
if we find something that we like or we love, even if it's to go back after a while, but that was the intention.
Okay.
Looking
And then
around,
COVID to change it.
yeah. So
The mind.
COVID changed the way we were working as well. We were able to remotely work and everything. So suddenly
Great.
it was bringing some freedom on this side.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's how we started, and then we went to the UK for 3 years. So
Oh, okay.
we were about to start, and then there was a project. We went to the UK. So
Okay.
during 3 years, we were thinking about our project, and so when we came back in May, we came back to Canada in May. We were really on the starting block,
Yeah.
and so right after
bought the
arriving, we bought a truck. We sold it, bought another one, because of course you don't know anything about it. So you
Yeah.
buy a truck, you think
One
that
truck.
you think that it's a truck, it should
should do it, yeah.
Actually not. So you have to sell it again, buy
Yeah.
another one, the right one this time, and
Sure.
and get ready. So yeah, that's how all those things started. And in our mind, we were really ready.
Yeah.
So it was
And we
That's great.
renovate it
so
in the same
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we tried to renovate
We
it.
try.
We tried. Because first of all, when you live in it and you try to renovate it, it's not so easy.
No, not at all.
And yeah.
I told you I had a '78 Airstream. It was a '69. It was much older, and we renovated it. It wasn't like a frame off or anything like that. It was just refreshing it, new
Yeah.
countertops, and that took me months. And
Ah.
that was without living in it. That was parked next to my house.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's not easy.
Yeah, of course it's unfinished.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah.
It's unfinished and lots of things to do. And I'm not Andy. This is not my, best part. So
Sure,
It's true.
I try. I try my best. I'm learning on this
Yeah.
side as well.
Oh sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's the neat thing. Not afraid to learn. That's
Yeah.
That's great.
So the other things are in a trailer. So when you buy it, the first thing you think of is let's avoid a leaking Airstream or a leaking trailer. So
Yes.
you pay attention to it and everything.
Yes.
Well, of course you say that, but you don't pay attention to it because you find something that is almost what you're expecting. So then you go and you discover things over the road, over the
Right.
time. So on our side, the first leak we experienced, which is a nightmare for any trailer or is that was in Alberta, and we had a tremendous storm, and and there were lots of wind and lots of rain, and it was very cold.
Yeah.
And suddenly, through the air conditioning, it started to leak, but like leaking like a river.
Oh,
It
no.
was
Yeah.
a mess.
Oh no.
So we were like, what? What is this?
And today we don't know what happened.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
to
Really?
we went to an Airstream dealer, and so we took an appointment. We said it's an emergency, blah blah blah. They said, sure, come in 3 weeks. We're like, all right.
Good thing
So-
it was an emergency, not a. Good
So
grief.
I
We
think
went to the Rockies.
yeah, we went to the Rockies and do some things, and finally come back to Calgary where we were supposed to have this appointment. And so they took the trailer for a few hours, did some tests, asked us for lots of money, to hear them saying, "We didn't find anything.
Yeah.
We don't know." So I explained them everything, and I even gave them a tip because I said maybe that's because I turned on the air conditioning, and when I turned it off, I didn't, I just switch it off, not turn the little electronic thing to
Oh, okay.
go off. So
Sure.
I said maybe it stayed on for any reason, and they didn't find anything.
Every day there's something.
And we,
Every day.
it never. The thing is, it never happened again until I would say a few weeks ago. We had some rain with some wind, and wind and rain together. It looks like it's a perfect recipe for it.
Yeah.
It was not as much as the first time, but it was something. So I asked one of my best friend, ChatGPT,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. ChatGPT. Yes.
Yeah.
He knows a lot. He knows one thing or two.
Yeah, no
So,
kidding.
and for one thing or two, it's pretty useful.
Yep. Yep.
And he said, check how do you call that? The fixation, some bolts,
Oh, okay.
and make sure they're really tight.
Uh-huh.
That's what I did,
Yeah.
and it was not so tight. So
Oh, okay.
I tightened them, and
We learn
finger crossed.
every day.
We hope that it's gonna work because it didn't rain much so far. So, but
It's-
we go to Chicago, and it's raining a lot right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think we may know if the fix was good enough.
You're probably not going to find out tonight because there's 0% chance of
Yeah.
rain here. So
Yeah.
you're probably,
Which is good.
You'll
which
probably
is,
stay
we like
dry.
that.
if you get wet tonight, it's something else.
Good to know.
No, I was interested in your comment about the desire to travel and get out and see different things. Our last guests that were just here said that we did this conversation with them, talked to them for a while, and her last comments were that when we feel like traveling is like a book. If you stay where you were started, it's like reading a page. But if you travel, you get to read the whole book. I thought that was kind of a neat analogy.
Yeah, it's
you're reading the whole book, not just a single page, by
It's
getting
true.
out there and seeing and doing things.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I think, traveling. What is very nice is, first of all, you can adjust yourself. I mean, suddenly you have bad weather,
Yeah.
and so you know that maybe 10 miles away it's going to be better.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one thing which is great because
Yes.
you don't need to be just like, enduring thing.
Right.
So that's one thing, and it's just for the weather. But it's also great because you can spend one day on the beach, one day on the mountain. You have this kind of opportunity to experience many things in
Absolutely.
1 week.
Everywhere
Yes.
it's home.
Yeah, and everywhere
Everywhere
is
is
home.
home. Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
That's neat.
It's,
I like that.
It's true that when we were in the Rockies or even in British Columbia, you can park in a Wal-mart parking lot, and you're like, are we gonna stay here? Okay, we don't have any choice. And suddenly you enter the trailer and you're home.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very funny, and it's like you're home everywhere. So that's great.
But
for
we
that.
prefer the boondocking.
Boondocking is way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually, you never really have some good conversation with the, Walmart guys or
The guy running the carts back. he
Exactly.
doesn't have
There's
a lot to
always
say.
one. It's funny. There's always someone.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many boondockers have you stayed at? Quite a few? Boondocker hosts?
How many did we boondocking?
How many?
Yeah,
After?
yeah, but I think 50.
Oh,
maybe
really?
I don't know, 50 or 25. 25, I think.
That's
On a
great.
fait combien de boondocking?
And all the experience has been pretty good?
What that?
Have you most of your experiences been good? With,
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Everybody. We never met anyone who was like. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think if they boondock,
Uh-huh.
if they're host, that's because they love people.
Right.
So they're happy to have people coming in, and I think that when you do that on our side, it's because you are happy to meet some people as well.
Right.
And
right.
And I think it's the other thing with boondocking that is great is that you meet some people from every part of the country or the other
Yes.
country you
Yeah.
go, and that's something that you will never experience in another way of doing it.
Yeah.
And you can also have a single moment, which is almost like if you were living here. So it gives you a kind of taste of flavor of what people live, what kind of situation they are, or,
Yeah.
all those things. It's nice to share this kind of day-to-day moment.
It is. Yeah.
So
it is.
it's really interesting, and I think that whether you're from somewhere else and you bring your history or your part of experience, and then by being here give you the part of experience and all as well. So it's
Right.
really the sharing stories is on both sides. I think.
And that's what's kind of inspired this whole YouTube thing. Is there just are some neat stories, and I'm sure you've already told us some with your RV experience. Do you have any just personal stories, or maybe how you met, or anything that's just kind of a fun story that you'd like to share? And it can be about RVing. That's fine. That's why I'm here. I love stories.
No, but the thing is, we met lots of people, and some of them we stayed in touch with.
Yeah.
We
That's great.
I would say our first boondocking was in Canada, and there was a couple came next to us, and that was funny. We were in the English part, so
Okay.
we started to talk and everything, and suddenly we realized that we were French-talking people. So
Oh, okay.
so we both started to speak in French, and that was funny because they were, I would say, they were cold in the first, few moments, and so we discussed a bit, and we went to bed, and the next day we left, and I think. Another city later, so 3 days later, we went to another boondocking, and suddenly we saw them arriving.
Oh,
and,
really?
And they saw us in the, as they were arriving, they could recognize us with the
Sure.
trailer and everything. And so it was suddenly another. The feeling was better. Was different because that was
Yeah.
the second time we would see them.
Right. Yeah.
And so suddenly we kind of started to talk again, and it was on something else. And they actually, they were,
We followed them
we followed them during
maybe,
the
2 weeks.
the journey and we stayed in touch. We are friends
great.
now.
That's
Maybe in
great.
August.
And in August we're gonna go with them. Certainly go to the in the east part of Canada. So
with them.
we met some friends, some people that are friends,
That's cool.
and and we have another couple that we met. It was not in a boondocking, in a campground, but as well, you sometimes meet people and suddenly. It's like there is some connections
There
or
is,
something,
yeah.
and you become friends. We met someone that was funny. This one, we were in the Rockies in Canada, and we woke up one morning. So we park. It was night. We park and go to sleep, and the next morning. We wake up, open the door, and suddenly what we see is the exact same Airstream as us, but in a clean version. In a very brand new version. But it was almost the same years.
Yeah.
Same.
No, not the same.
10 years later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
same model,
Yeah.
same year, same model, same size,
Size.
same everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we're like, oh my God, this is how it's gonna look like after a while. And so Claire left a note saying, oh, we have the same, they weren't here. So we have the same Airstream. We would love to share stories, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
They were from Quebec as well. And the evening when we came back, they invited us for a drink and we talked about lots of things. So again, we were sharing not only, traveling, but we were having the same Airstream and everything.
Yeah.
That was really nice, and we stayed in touch as well. He helped us sometimes for, solar things. So you.
Yeah, because you met.
You meet.
You meet people because you share the love for travel
Yes.
or for the trailer.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Our first couple we met, they didn't have a trailer. They had a van, so it's another way. It's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But it was, I
and
think,
they don't travel
a lot
full time.
is
Maybe
true.
2 months.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing is this trailer, the Airstream is great because every time you meet someone who has an Airstream, there is always a connection. Whether it's
Huge.
just like light flashing on the road,
Yeah.
it can be just like, hey, you have an Airstream, what year is yours, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's funny how there's a kind of natural connection that is happening. It's nice.
Well, I remember in Colorado, we used to live in Colorado Springs, and that's where I had my 69 Airstream. And I was pulling out onto the interstate, and I happened to get right behind 2 other Airstreams that were traveling together. And that was like the proudest moment of my life. 3 Airstreams, yeah, we're cool.
Go Airstream.
Go Airstream, yep.
I have a question for you. Or maybe you said already, and maybe I missed something.
No.
But why did you sell your Airstream?
At the time, we didn't have a lot of money, and it was going to cost more to completely fix it the way we wanted to. And just our situation, our personal situation with family, we just needed to let it go, which was a hard decision.
Oh, right.
But we did, and I'm okay. Right now, we're not at a point where we can travel because my mom lives with us, and we kind of take care of her. And at some point, I'd love to get in another one, but now's not the time. But when it comes, we'll probably do it. But that was hard because I love those Airstreams. And then when you're going to experience as you're restoring it, or whatever work you do on it. It makes it personal. It makes it yours
true.
even more.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
So
It's funny how it's personal.
Yep.
The way you have an history with it, because actually it's pretty solid and it's pretty strong. So it's not something that you're going to get rid of easily.
Right.
So you put a lot of yourself in it. We see that. You give it a name or whatever. We didn't.
Yeah.
But we
didn't find a
yeah,
name.
we didn't find any name yet.
Oh, okay.
We
After
saw lots of
10 months we don't have it.
yeah. We saw lots of people saying, "Oh, we gave our trailer a name," and we were like, "What kind of name could we give?"
don't know yet.
when it comes, you'll know it.
we don't even know if it's a he or a she.
She.
Is she?
Yeah, it's a lady.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you won't name it after me then, but that's okay. Maybe Steve the trailer. No, that doesn't work, does it? Oh, that's great. So yeah, well, that sounds good. It's going to be. Are you? I know where I was going. Are you familiar with some of the history of Airstream and some of the caravans they used to do?
Not really. I think the only thing I know is I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was related to planes before.
Right.
And they kind of took this kind of technology, took it to adapt it to trailer, and then it was one of the first trailer for really traveling that was done or made. But after that, that's absolutely where my knowledge stops.
Well, yeah, that's Airstream came a little bit later, but it came from some of the people that started some of the first trailers. But I'm not well versed in the history, but when Airstream came along, they started, one part of their sales tactic was to do caravans. So they would round up Airstream owners from all over, and they would do caravan camping together. So you would see a line of 100 Airstreams all heading somewhere.
Oh, it's funny, like the wagons for the pioneers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And they
that's
still do a lot of rallies where you would just. I've even thought about how fun it would be to do an Airstream rally here and just let people park in the field and have fun. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll do that sometime. But
Yeah, that would be funny.
that would be
It's
fun. So
because actually, I really think that not trying to, separate things, but it's funny how you see how people with Airstream can hang up together.
Yeah,
Whereas it's different with other people with other trailer.
it is. Yeah, it is. Airstreams are almost a family.
It's true.
Yeah.
There's some connections
On the
that,
road.
yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
You
They
never
wave,
flash
they-
lights. I see some when you cross an Airstream, you flash light. When
Yep.
you cross another trailer, you don't flash
You
light.
don't, yeah,
And they don't
yeah.
either between themselves. I
Right.
mean, I've never seen someone with a trailer A and another trailer brand B and flashing together. No.
You might get a little bit of that with just people that have vintage trailers in
Oh, right.
general,
It's
maybe, but not like Airstreams.
It's
Yeah,
true.
not like Airstreams.
So-
They're a breed of their own. So
And it's funny, sometimes we're like, oh, look, he has an Airstream. Oh, funny. Oh, then we could park there, in campground or even in, what was the BLM thing when we were on the southwest?
just a campground.
Yeah, exactly. So you see, oh, there is an Airstream. Okay, then we know we can go.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's,
Ah, yeah, it's true.
the ground is going to be okay or
Right.
something. Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
yeah, that's...
that's fun. Well, now, do you guys still work? Or are you retired? Or
No, we still work. We're writing stories.
you write stories?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you? Now, I will tell you that any question you do not want answered, just don't. You don't have to answer it. So don't feel bad about saying, yeah, we don't want to answer that. So, but can you expound on that a little? Tell us about your stories.
Well, that's unfortunately not really. But we just we write stories for movies. So sometimes it's in progress or things like that, which is the case right now. So we cannot say much.
Sure.
But yeah, that's how we work. So we kind of we work together in the same thing. So we can discuss. We can go on a trail and we work by just talking together, thinking,
That's
okay, what do you
great.
think of this scene and blah blah blah, and then we come back and okay, I think we got an agreement. So it's a way of working.
Yeah.
And I think that this way of life, for the moment, is great for that because we can
yeah.
work. We can, you don't have much to hide. You know
Right.
how it is. When sometimes you always find we were at home before, you start working and suddenly you're like you're having some. Okay, what are we doing now? What is this character's gonna do? And it gets difficult because
Sure.
you don't have any idea or it's not the right idea. So very easily you can escape. Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna cook something.
Yeah.
That's what I call escaping.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And here you can't. There is no way. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? Yeah, we're in the same room, so there is no way we can bake or whatever.
Yeah, we can take a walk.
So then we take a walk and we
okay.
discuss things, but it makes you pretty focused.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know.
Yeah.
So I think it's great for that.
Now, do the people you meet ever end up in any of your stories to some extent?
Not yet, but we met a couple of cops, and that was funny because we thought they were acting weirdly. Yeah, there was kind of distance and everything,
Yeah.
and then we understood by knowing them better that actually that their job, they retired now, but their job made them kind of having this kind of way of acting, which is
Sure.
step back and observe and everything.
Yeah.
so we thought, oh, that would be funny to have, a couple like that in a story.
Yeah.
But not for the moment.
Not for the moment.
Yeah.
Not for the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometime maybe.
But we met so many different people, like a sheriff. Claire told me even one thing. Like, it's funny. It's like everybody in America is a sheriff somewhere. We were in California, and so remember I said when we left we experienced some tornado warning.
Right.
When we went down 101 or the one on Oregon to California,
Sure.
we stopped by a lovely park here, and in the middle of the morning we had this huge warning of earthquake and
wow.
tsunami alert. So
Ugh.
that was it was pretty big, because that was almost the first time they triggered the tsunami alert
Sure.
in years. And even the
I'm not sure I want you guys staying here. This bad weather seems to follow you around.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
Maybe we'll go get a hotel tonight. Anyway,
Sorry.
keep
don't
going
stay here.
Keep going. Sorry about that.
So yeah, no,
It's a joke.
but it's a good joke, so yeah, we had this alert, which finally turned down, has been turned down 2 hours later. But in this 2 hours time, we were like, okay, so the manager from the park came, say you have to pack,
You
move.
have 20 minutes.
We have 20 minutes before the wave.
Oh goodness.
And that was this big. There had been a earthquake like 20 kilometers under the water.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was 100 kilometers away from San Francisco, and so it was pretty big.
Right.
And,
Wow.
so we experienced that.
So you learned how to back really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Now
I
we
think
are efficient.
yeah, I think the last accident we had was we were in Arizona, and it's pretty dusty, and
Sure.
the ground, and for a while we bought a cone. When we need to unhitch, so we bought a plastic cone where we, that we use for the hitch.
Oh yeah.
So everything was good so far in a few months, and this day and that day, as we were, having the trailer going down to hitch, it fell down. I mean the cone, plastic cone, slide out, and the trailer fell down on the ground. So it was like there was like no way we could do that ourselves. And luckily, some people saw us, and they helped us, and they said, "Oh, it's not the first time we see that happen to me before." Blah blah blah, and they started to help us. They managed to make it back to its feet, and we learned the lesson. And they say, and I say, "But I'm using this. Don't you use this cone?" And they say, "No." Never, never use that kind of thing.
Never
All
buy a
right.
And we can tell you why. Right there.
So yeah, and that's how we learn our lesson.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. There's so many lessons to be learned, and I don't know that you ever learn every one of them. But
Definitely not. I'm sure not. I would like to be sure that it's. I learned everything, so that we don't have any more, accident or things like that. But that's part of life. So
it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's. Well, we've been lucky anyway, because we saw so many beautiful things,
Sure.
met so many people, and yeah, that's really
It was
lovely.
an experience,
Amazing experience.
amazing experience.
If there were
yeah.
one thing that you could point your finger at and say, "I'm so glad we got to do that or got to see that," what might that be? And
Well,
it could
for
be
me,
Canada or here.
for me,
you
I
know.
would say starting the journey.
Starting the journey.
That's definitely a very good thing, because I would say the starting is always something hard.
That
You
it
always
is.
find a good excuse not to
Yes.
start it.
Yes.
You know, oh, we plan to do this next year. Oh, well, actually, things change.
Yeah.
We're gonna postpone it. This time we say, okay, we have to do it,
Mhm.
and yeah, and that was it. And it was a really good decision. You have to count on yourself, but
Yes.
at the same time, accept others, share with others,
Yes.
help and being helped. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really nice. Really nice.
I love that. That's great. Starting
Yeah.
the journey is the best
Yeah.
part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I remember we were looking at. There's a sentence coming back to me, but we were looking at Yellowstone TV
Mhm.
show,
yeah.
and they did 1883 and 1923,
Mhm.
and in 1883, I remember the girl saying that she was like, Oregon is not the journey. The journey, no, Oregon is not the goal. The journey, the goal is the journey, or the journey is the goal, or
Oh,
something
sure.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
and the destination, and I was
Uh-huh.
thinking, this is so right.
Yeah.
So right. The journey is definitely what is the most interesting.
Neat.
Yeah, I can't say which part I preferred.
Yeah, they're all different. It's kind of chapters,
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah.
sequences.
Even the moment when we stay in the same place,
Yeah,
even if we don't move
Mhm.
or if we don't visit something,
Mhm.
even this moment was
amazing. Yeah,
Amazing,
it's
yeah.
true. It's true.
Oh, I love that.
And it's funny, we almost could say, oh, we've been living in California, we've been living in, because we spend sometimes, and by the day to day, you
Mhm.
go to the grocery, you even start having some conversation with,
Right.
people working in the grocery or
because
things
you
like that.
can't move every day.
Mhm.
You need a
You need some
moment
downtime.
to-
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You
to
need some
slow.
downtime.
Yeah, specifically because even if you visit, there's a moment where suddenly your eyes get blind or
Yeah.
get bored,
Mhm.
and you're like, you're in front of an amazing landscape, and you're like, yep, well, do you want to go there? Oh no, enough with cactus.
Yeah.
And after that, you leave this part, and you're like, oh, damn. Where are the cactus? It was so
exactly.
nice. And you refuse one trail or two because you were bored. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you have to. Yeah, it's funny that part. It's true.
Really gain some appreciation and remember as you're going to appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, there was a funny thing. I grew up in Nebraska, then we moved to California, then to Colorado. Well, kind of in that sequence. But anyway, I didn't really like Nebraska until we got back at an older age. And I started to realize the beauty of even Nebraska has beauty. It's different, and it's not mountains, it's not cactus, but just the plains, fields of corn,
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind
true.
of crazy. It has its own beauty
Yeah, there
So-
is definitely. I mean, everywhere.
everywhere.
To be honest, because
Yeah.
it kind of sharp people. I
Mhm.
mean, it makes them who they are.
Yes, it does.
And
Yeah.
and it's a the best way to learn to know people is to visit their place.
Yes.
Because you understand how they react, how they are kind of are they talker, are they silent,
Uh-huh.
are they reserved, all those things. By seeing the place they live in
Yes.
is really helpful.
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
seen, by the ocean, by the plains, by all those places
Mhm.
makes people different.
Yes.
That's true.
Excuse me. Yeah, it really is true. Oh, that's neat. Now, going back to your movie days, which are now, can I ask if can you tell us some of the movies you've been involved in, or is that kind of like, yeah, rather not? And that's okay if you'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with it.
No, it's to be very honest, it's just like it's good to be. Yeah, I know that when I say what kind of movies I did, people start to look at and everything. And the thing is, like, it's good to be just like private or.
Oh, sure, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. To be honest, I've seen so many people. They change the way of your interest just because suddenly, you did that movie, awesome. And it's flattering in one way, but at the same time it kind of changes the
you're right, yeah.
And
right.
Whether the thing is, and I learned that by traveling, is that people don't know anything about you. Your past, whatever you did, they just take you as who they have in front of them, and without knowing your job or whatever. And I really appreciate that, because it's kind of you don't have to. You can be just yourself. You don't have anything to to be branded for, or things like that. So
no,
it's just that I don't want to. I would love to say that, but at the same time, I think it's great to not saying it actually.
To relate on a different level.
Yeah, it's
where you
true.
don't have to be. No, I totally get it. So I have no infamy whatsoever. So it's now I will say, have you heard of Slate Media from Canada? SLAIGHT, big media moguls.
Not really.
Radio
No.
station. Oh, no. Well, that's disappointing, because that's my last name, and it's a big radio. They got really big in radio.
So say again.
Slate Media,
Slate
I think
Media.
it is. So anyway, they were a big deal. I don't know if they still are, but there's now a foundation. I don't know that I'm probably not even a relation to them, other than the fact that we share a last name.
Okay.
So I don't know that I'm related in any way, but I heard about him one time and thought, oh wow, I might have some famous relatives.
True, maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
anyway.
maybe one way or another, but you may have been.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. So where are you headed now? Where's your next destination?
So we're going back to Canada now.
Okay.
So we're going to Chicago and then
Ontario.
Detroit and Ontario.
Okay. And then are you going to be still in the trailer for a while, or do you
for a few while.
Summer, I think.
Certainly all summer. Yeah,
Okay.
we are going to spend some time in Ontario, then go certainly to the west, to the East Coast. And after that, the goal was to stay almost a year or a year and a half in the trailer.
Okay.
That was the idea. But after that, well, we have winters, big winters.
Sure.
I think you have some as well.
We have both. So right now it's kind of mild, but by summer, middle of summer, June, July, it'll get really hot and humid. And in winter, it can get really, really cold. January, February, it can get really, really cold. So we have the extremes.
So I think we share the same kind of
Could
seasons.
be, yeah.
And so, we can experience the trailer until September, October, I would say. That's the limit. For our journey, we were very pleased to be able to kind of go down to the south and experience the winter in a different way, which was great. But at the same time, it's funny because this is kind of, it's a dream to be able to, in winter you're wearing a short and everything, and it's great. But at the same time, we've been through the mountains before arriving, and we were in some of the mountains of Colorado, and we were looking at the snow, and we were like, oh, home. So you have that, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Summer is great, but summer is great because we have winters.
Yeah. Now, how long is your summer in Quebec?
3 or 4 months.
Oh, okay, so that's
Yeah,
not too bad.
it's not too bad. It starts
In
May, June,
Yeah.
middle May,
Yeah.
and it goes up to
September.
end of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start getting some decent temperatures in March, and then you'll just go, oh, good, it's summer, and then it'll get cold again and freeze, and so it'll do a little back and forth, and
Yeah,
then
but
by mid-April, May, it starts really warming up, and
yeah,
so we'll be good through really October. It should be,
good.
not cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So anyway, I like the warmer stuff. I don't like the humidity though. That's not a
it's
friend.
true.
Yeah.
Summers are very humid as well on our side, but winters are very dry. So that's what is nice with winter. We have lots of blue skies and everything, so lots of lights.
Nice.
So that's great.
Well, probably time for you guys to go fetch some dinner and get that going. But I wanted to ask you if somebody came up to you and said, hey, we're thinking about RVing, not ready to do it yet, but just wanted to find out what your thoughts are about RVing full time, what would you tell them?
I would say that it's a wonderful experience. That's
Be
for sure.
brave.
Be brave. Yep.
Be passionate.
Passionate.
Be ready to experience some unexpected things.
And you can't discover everything. You
Yeah.
have to come back.
You have to come back. I love
It's
it.
true.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And you cannot control everything as well. I mean, don't start thinking you can control all you want, and that's the
Right.
best part of it. You need to accept things, and sometimes you're slowed down. Sometimes you plan to do something and it's not going to happen, or
Yeah.
all those things. One thing is that when you live in a house, the time, as the way you experience time, is very different in a trailer.
Oh,
For example, you're in a house, you say, okay, we're leaving, we go to somewhere. In 5 minutes, you're in the car, ready
Right.
to go. A trailer, it's very different. You need to check everything, because when you're going to move, everything
this
is
is
going to
true.
fall down. So you need to
Yeah.
prepare the house. And then, because it's like a earthquake in it. And then you need to hitch. And then you need, all those
Yes.
things. Check you didn't forget anything. If you've been settled down for 1 week, you need to remember, okay, now I have the trailer, so I'm not going to drive the car the same way I was driving
Right.
the car before.
Yeah.
All those things are things you need to remember. And every time you think you've got it, nope, there is something that is saying, you're not ready yet, or
Yep.
you didn't think of that. So yeah, that's but it's definitely keeps you alive,
Yeah.
keeps you alert, and that's
You tell them to go for it, huh?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a very good way, and
Good.
it's also great because there is a freedom sense,
Sure.
because you can go, you're not attached to anything.
With a minimum. This is very important because you can't buy lots of things. You
Right.
live with a minimum,
Yes.
and I think it's perfect because I don't know if I can explain in English, but if you have too much, it's like
Weight, extra weight.
not weight, but ça t'embrouille, ça te ralentit. ça
It
te
slow you
paralyse.
down.
Oh.
The more don't. It's funny. We went to Costco, but you don't buy much because actually there's too much.
You can't
Yes.
buy anything.
So you know,
It's all big
yeah, and
packages.
you want some
Exactly.
oil. You have 2 liters or 5, or all those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
You want some cans of tomato. You have 20. Oh, damn, where?
So you learn to live with a minimum.
Yeah, a
Right.
minimum.
Yeah.
We used to say everything's fitting is fine.
Uh-huh.
If we don't find any place or spot for this object, goes out.
Yeah, yeah.
And so and this is to be applied to everything.
Right.
So clothes, food, objects, everything.
Yeah, that's right.
And we don't need more.
And you
because-
don't, yeah.
Yeah,
That
we-
kind of puts things in perspective too.
Exactly.
because you
Yeah.
have everything.
Oh, we've got so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so much stuff that we don't ever use or need, and
Oh, definitely.
that is one good way to scale back.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like
Yeah.
help you to learn to forget about those things.
Right.
And it's true. You know what? We were crossing towns, whether it's in the US or in Canada, it's
Sure.
exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
But I would say you see all those storage things.
Yes.
You know, those storage?
Yeah.
And it's like you have a small town, they have almost more storage than homes.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're like, my God, people rent a storage to put everything they
stuff
can
that
that
they-
don't fit anymore in the house.
Yes.
It's insane.
It
And
is,
it's like,
it is.
my God, we need to learn to suddenly, start to be able to live with less. So
You're right.
that's that's another side of it, which is
Yeah,
great because
yeah.
you can be happy with less.
It's very freeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very freeing. Yeah. Well,
But,
I might have to go sell the house and travel with you guys. Yeah, my garage is full of stuff, and it's. I mean, we can park in it, but it's tools and just stuff that you think, well, I better hang on to that. I might need it. And
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The might need it.
Might need
when
it.
you have a trailer, you know that might need, it doesn't fit in the car, it doesn't fit in the trailer.
Yep.
You know what? We cannot.
I might be able to get it somewhere else.
So it's funny how it's it's changing the way we approach things or,
Sure.
or buying things or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting for that.
Well,
As
very
well.
good.
But we are happy.
But we are happy, yeah, and
But
and
we
as
are happy. That's
and
the
as she
key.
was saying,
Yeah.
when you're on the road, you can stop anywhere and just appreciate the landscape, the nature,
yeah.
the,
Yeah,
all
for
those
sure.
things. So
People.
and you suddenly realize that this is exactly what we need, and it makes people not unhappy. In the opposite,
Right.
they look happy as well. So that's
Now
great.
we need a house.
But now, after this, now we're happy to go back to a house and all those things. Of course, it's great. But I'm sure it's going to, it's placing us in another state of mind.
Yes.
And also we're not getting rid of the trailer, so we're gonna be able to any day say, okay, you know what? Let's spend like 3 next weeks somewhere, and you can do that. Except in winter for us,
Yeah.
but
Right. Yeah.
so that's really nice for that. That's really
good.
nice.
The journey continue.
The journey
Journey
continues.
continues,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's
To
true.
be continued. ... Well, that's great. Well, I sure appreciate you guys and appreciate you taking the time to share some things.
Of
and thoughts
course.
And,
It was our pleasure too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
as
Thank you for welcoming us.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah,
and as you go
absolutely.
across the country, if we're ever on the map again, come by and tell us about the last bit of journeys. We'll record you again if you're open to it.
definitely, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you
Love it.
actually the first one we met was doing this.
I don't know of anybody that is. I'm not. I don't. There might be others doing it, but I'm the only one I know of. I know of a lot of folks that, like you, that go and blog and take videos and share, put on social media their journey, but here we have a very unique opportunity to have so many people come here. So I don't have to come up with great ideas for content.
They're
Just let you
bringing
guys
it.
talk. You're
No,
the
but that's
stars.
great. That's
So,
very interesting.
yeah. So
Very
it'll be
interesting.
fun to see how it goes and see how people accept it and so forth. So I've got another one I've got to edit and get on there, and then this one, and then you're more than welcome to. Once I send you the link to it, if there's anything you don't like, you can certainly tell me about it.
Appreciate
Get
that.
rid of that,
Oh.
or if you want to, you can post the link on your profile with Boondockers and Harvest Hosts so that people can meet you a little bit before you get there and maybe
Yeah,
spur
it's
some
true.
questions. So anyway, just a thought. So
It's true, but it's. I think it's a very good idea, and it's.
Great. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely good idea.
Yeah, we'll see what goes with it.
Yeah.
See how many people listen in. So
Yeah,
I
I'm sure,
hope for you.
don't expect
Thank you.
much in the beginning, but I'm pretty sure that the more you're going to have people coming in,
Yes.
and the more you're going to have people sharing the stories, they're
Uh-huh.
going to suddenly go and see what you did, and
Right.
and who knows, some people may be interested in coming here because you're doing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it may trigger some kind of curiosity, or
I hope so. I
yeah.
hope so. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
No, we stay pretty busy, but I love it. It's great stuff.
Oh no,
So,
that's very nice. I mean, sometimes Claire tells me, "Oh, that's so lovely from those hosts to decide that, oh, we're ready to welcome some people that they
yeah.
never know and they will maybe never see again." And it's true. You share this little moment. Sometimes you don't meet them.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it
There've been
happens
a few
sometimes.
times that people said, "Hey, thanks, we're going to bed," and that's
Yeah.
it. So you don't get to meet and don't get to talk. So
Yeah.
I cherish these times. I just love them.
I was afraid, when I answered to your first emails in the beginning, we
Yeah.
were really in the spirit that, or not in the spirit, but we were thinking, okay, we may have a long journey
Sure.
coming in, we may arrive late, and the next day we're going to go early. But actually, it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had a big one, a big chunk to do,
Uh-huh.
and unfortunately we've been diverted because there was so many wind on the road, the
yeah.
I-80. It was closed
Oh.
between two towns, Laramie, before Laramie, I would say.
Okay.
And so we had to
Rawlings and,
Rawlings and Laramie.
Okay.
So
Sure.
we had to do a hitch.
Yeah.
And,
Detour.
detour, and
in Colorado.
in Colorado through the mountains, and it took us
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
we should have done this in 40 minutes,
Yeah.
and suddenly it took us like 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So we arrived at the boondocking
10.
at 10 o'clock in the evening,
Oh, man.
and very late. We were like, okay, we think we're gonna be arriving
Yeah.
here at this time, and the GPS, of course, with the trailer, the GPS is saying that, oh, you should arrive at this time, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
always take more. So
Wow.
that's why I said, you know what, maybe we may arrive late. But when we saw that we could be in time, we were very pleased to
Oh, that's
answer to your
awesome.
question.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
and
So,
and
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to do that.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you, and I'll
Thank
let you
you.
get some dinner going or whatever you're going to do. And if
Sure.
there's any questions you have or anything I can help you with while you're here, directions or whatever, feel free
Thank
to
you.
ask. And
Thank you
we'll
so
help
much.
you.
when we started, we bought it, and actually the seller just spent 25 minutes explaining us how to deal with
Yeah.
this. And when you don't know anything, you don't remember anything.